Hello everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my thoughts and overview on the patch 3.1 patch notes. Now, I've already taken some time to look through a lot of these so I can bring my thoughts together a lot faster. That being said, I am going to be skipping some pretty large sections because if not, this is going to be like a 45-minute video, and honestly, I don't think I have the energy to talk for that long at this point, and I know that's a shock to some of you. But these are the patch 3.1. These are the preliminary patch notes, so recipes for the next patch will not be in it. However, all of the content should be present in it, minus anything they specifically note will have to be released in the full patch notes. Usually those things include item level and recipes, like I just stated. So, we're going to scroll through it, and let's just get started right away, because it's probably going to take a really long time to get through. Like new main scenario quests, like there's pictures here. I'm not going to comment on those old pictures. The names of the quests, you know, just basic stuff. We don't need to stop and talk about this, although I'm sure there are some very punny things here somewhere. Changes to some of the old main story missions. I think this one was that one where you needed to have like 4 pieces of equipment at level 5. Now you just need item level 5 in all, it seems. Some adjustments to some of the other main story missions, the ones with the guild hests right here. New Chronicles and new era quests have been added. We've seen these, well, we've seen this NPC before. That's the one we saw for the preview in the Void Arc, and then these are probably some of his lackeys right here. Sky Pirates and to rule the skies. Okay, I'm assuming that because the Void Arc is just one part of the 3-part section that the Sky Pirates are involved in, that this is just, it should be more looked at like the Sky Pirate scenario as opposed to the Void Arc storyline. French, that's always good. It always helps me reduce the time of which I'm recording a video. All it looks like here is it's saying that in order to unlock Ravana Extreme, you now just need to do the quest Gods of Eld, because you don't need to beat Bismarck Extreme now to do Ravana Extreme. And this one just looks like it's saying that in order to do the quest that follows Ravana Extreme, you now need to beat both Bismarck and Ravana, since they are their own separate quests. Thornton's Reign, new Extreme Primal. There's going to be a preview picture for that later in the patch notes here, so we'll just wait till we get to there. Same thing, St. Mochion's Arboretum and Pharaoh Sirius Hard Mode. These are the quests to unlock them. Remember, if you haven't beaten Pharaoh Sirius Normal, if you're a new player and you skip that dungeon, go find the quest Why So Serious. Do it, complete it. You're going to need it in order to get into Pharaoh Sirius Hard Mode. Side quests for Ether Currents. All this is just, you used to have to go through certain quest chains to get to Ether Current quests. Now, those quest chains, it's just the first quest in the quest chain. So if you only want to do the first side quest, you don't have to do all of them. Your display has been removed from seasonal event journals. Vanu Vanu settlement and Beast Tribe quests have been added. So they added a settlement. It's at X6Y14 in the Sea of Clouds. So that's where we're going to have to go for these Beast Tribe dailies, I imagine. The first quest is from Sanu Vanu, which I believe is in the Akvundu, or whatever the place is called, or Akzundu. So yeah, someplace around there. Definitely not Akvundu, because those of Vundu are very bad. These are just all the names of the quests. Sun Drop the Beat. Wait a minute. I need to comment on this one. Nest Side Story. Localization team, you are beautiful. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Vanu Vanu daily quests. So one thing to remember with these daily quests is that they automatically adjust to your level, and you can, I believe, start them as early as level 50 or 51, if I remember correctly. Nah, that can't be it. Maybe if you already have the northern section of it unlocked, but basically it just means that they're good for leveling. You know, don't just use them on your level 60s unless you just want to get them done fast, because the difficulty will adjust to the current level that you are at. So if you're 60, they're going to adjust to 60 anyway. If you're level 56, they'll adjust to level 56. Use them to level up secondary classes while also working towards the maximum reputation for the Beast Tribe quest. That's all I can recommend. Leave quests have seen a change. This is for the escort quests. You can now see the end destination, basically. And they also just freed up a little bit of space with the ones in the Sea of Clouds. New rewards and adjustments to rewards in the treasure hunt. They do this every patch. It's basic stuff. They added swan feathers and eagle feathers to Grand Company seals. So, I don't know, fantastic. Like, I'm pretty sure I just throw those away every time I get them. Number of items players would like to exchange for company seals can now be specified. Oh, thank God. I'm pretty sure that that means that if you were, like, you wanted to buy Aetheryte tickets or something, I don't even think you can buy those with this. You can buy more than one item, basically. You don't just have to buy your items one at a time anymore when you want to buy multiple of the same item from your Grand Company. Yes! Quality of life. The technology, it's there, finally. Items in your inventory displayed for supply and provisioning missions will now display as either normal quality or high quality. That's nice. Free company names can now be changed. I'm not a real big fan of the name Elysium. Kind of would like a change. Just saying, Layla, Fold. everyone in Elysium, please. Okay, anyway, moving on. Following symbols have been added to the company crests. So if you want to customize your company crest with these icons, you can do that now. Just need rank 7 entitlement. New free company crafting, Moogle House is one of them. Yeah. Some slight changes to that, and then you also have the amount of time to fully charge ethereal wheels has been shortened for grades 1 through 3. You can add summoning bells to company workshops now. There's some changes to exploratory voyages. These aren't the free company airship exploration things we're getting. These are the like almost retainer-esque voyages that you could send out before patch 3.1. Gain more EXP, there's new items to get, and they made some changes to the flight control panel to make it a little bit more accessible, such as being able to view the repair screen without any repair materials, displaying repair stuff, and navigational charts. If you want to check all that out, remember, patch notes in the description of the video below. New furnishings, again, something they do every patch. I like the Chocobo hatchling hedge over here, though. New indoor furnishings, the Unending Journey. You can add the Unending Journey to a private chamber or a house now, so you don't have to go back to the inn if you want to view the cutscenes and whatnot. New items can be grown via gardening. There's a new estate vendor, the steward, and to correspond with that, they've increased the maximum amount of NPCs that can be in an estate. I don't know about you, but instead of getting a new NPC, I kind of just wish they had made this so we could put more items in there, because I'm assuming this takes up you know, some resources. I don't know if it's more or less resources than a piece of furniture, so maybe I'm just uninformed. But for me, it would have been nice to have more actual items instead of just another NPC. Like, that's just me, though. I don't do much housing stuff. New feature for personal housing, estate sharing. You can now assign up to 3 players on your friends list as tenants, and you can give them permissions to your house, such as customization, you know, adding, removing, and dyeing of furniture, gardening, and stabling their chocobos. The odd thing is you can only be a tenant of up to 2 houses, which is weird that I guess they don't want, there probably something to do with like sharing. They're afraid of too many people sharing too many houses and then like trying to take over the market. I have no idea, but something along those lines. I fully expect people to now not only sell houses in the Mist, but also to sell tenancy to the Mist. Like, people will probably buy up houses and like and selling tenant spot for this, you know, we'll give you full access to the house and customization. You just have to pay me X amount per month. I can already see that shit happening with this whole tenancy thing being added to ensure. Oh, and then they're demolishing the plots. I've been over this a bunch of times. If you didn't know, if you own a house and you don't use it for 45 days, it'll be destroyed. You get 3 email notifications to let you know, and then it's gone. So make sure that the owner or some free company members are using your house, because otherwise it's going to get demolished, and that's it. You can retrieve 80% of the price paid for the estate grounds, and you can get back the furnishings if you do it within another 45 days. And your chocobo stabled, you can get those from the housing enthusiast, but you're going to lose all this other stuff. Housing exteriors, furnishings destroyed upon removal, whatever this says in French, those things. Yeah. And you only have 45 days to retrieve those items. So after 90 days, basically everything regarding your house is completely destroyed. It's mostly there to get rid of houses and whatnot for people who quit the game or can't play for extended periods of time. You can adjust the lighting inside of your houses now. Oh my god, these patch notes are so long. New behaviors for stable chocobos. You can buy mission ceruleum from the resident caretakers. You can travel to subdivisions and from subdivisions back to the field a lot more easily. Lords of Verminion, this is a whole big RTS minigame they added to the Gold Saucer. These are all the rules. I am not going to take the time to explain all of the little rules. Its location is in the Gold Saucer. They have all these different values: attack, defense, HP, how quickly they move, their strength against certain structures, the cost to summon them, and their special actions. So if I had to go through all of this, we are going to be here for like an hour. I'll cover the important points. There's a trifecta system. I'm sorry, a rock, paper, scissors system. Monsters beats critters, beats poppet, beats monster, and then gadgets are neutral. So your cheating ass friend who would always like do, it's the sun. The sun beats everything. Yeah, that's what the gadget is for. Not exactly, but you know what I mean. Minion costs. It's explaining everything. There is a ranked system, so when you do face people in ranked mode, you gain and lose ranked points. If you've ever played any other competitive online game, it's equivalent to ELO. So it's used to determine who you will challenge, and it will be implemented in the Wolves Den 2, the new PvP arena mode coming in patch 3.2. We are the testing ground for it here, so even if you aren't a huge fan of Lords of Verminion, I highly recommend you test it out and give feedback on it to ensure that it is an effective system come 3.2 for the Wolves Den 2. Very important to have an effective ranked system for arenas. That's all I'm saying. Just be the guinea pig. That's what they want from us. We will be the guinea pigs. Now there's you know, ranked modes, there's non-ranked modes where you can challenge friends, there's PvE modes, there's training modes, and there's a tournament mode where you can queue up against random opponents. You need to complete 30 matches in order to get your final ranking. And unlike Triple Triad, it shouldn't be as riggable because, like I said, it is randomly matching you with other opponents. So you shouldn't be able to just forcefully select an opponent in order to manipulate the points gained throughout the tournament. Battles, this is just explaining some of the basic systems. You can queue up your summons. This is the supply units. Remember the cost thing? You can't summon more units than what exceeds your costs available. You have special actions, traps, you have different structures, you have different controls, you have all your minions that are on the hotbar, because that's what you fight with. You fight with your non-combat minions. It's pretty funny that this and StarCraft 2 come out on the same day. Because we all know which one's going to be better. Like, clearly Lords of Verminion, we esports now, baby. Arcana Stones, this is the ultimate goal, is to destroy all 3 of your opponent's Arcana Stones. Once you do that, the game is over. If they aren't destroyed by the time the time limit is up, whoever has the most HP on their Arcana Stones will be the victor. Gates, these are used to summon minions, and they can also heal them if they happen to stand them. Think of it like base for League of Legends or Dota. Like standing in base gets you your HP and MP back. The only difference is your base can actually be destroyed, and it can stop you from actually being able to summon more minions for a short period of time. Shields help protect your Arcana Stones, and Search Eyes basically give you full vision of the field. If it's destroyed, then you can only see around where your minions are placed. Those of you who know the term Fog of War, it basically prevents Fog of War, and if you destroy it, you get Fog of War. Now, they're not permanently destroyed. They will slowly regenerate over time, except in the case of Arcana Stones, which are destroyed permanently, and having minions nearby them can also regenerate them faster. Again, all this stuff, special actions, like, it's interesting. I'm not really a huge fan of the special actions and the way they're done. It says when 4 minions of the same type have filled their special action points and are in close proximity to each other, if one of these minions is selected, the special action button will flash. Pressing the special action button in the state will activate the special action. So what you're telling me is not only do I need the minions to all have this ring around their feet filled, but it's 4 of the same type. I'm assuming that means like 4 monsters, 4 critters, not 4 chocobo hatchlings. Because in the case of people like Hildebrand, who cost 30 to summon and the maximum is 240, that would mean you'd have to spend half of your total available units just to use his ability, as opposed to just having other puppets nearby. So I'm assuming that that's how it works, and it's not actually like the little button, the little designator of what type they are. I'm assuming that's what it means when it says type. Some of the actions are also traps that can be manually triggered, so keep that in mind. And then you just have the basic UI. You know, you have all the things we showed off. You have people's, you know, the Arcana Stone health at the top, the time limit, the summon queue, the amount of units you have on the field, excuse me, the all the structures in the mini-map in the bottom right. And then you have the minion hotbar, your supply units, your special actions, which gate you're summoning your minions out of. So all of these things are basic, and they can be moved around. So don't worry, if you don't like where they are, you can move them around. You can also withdraw a selected minion in case you want to summon a different one. Keep that in mind. So there are plenty of options here. Victories can net you ranked points if you're playing in ranked mode, as well as MGP. So all you have to know is that the your opponent's rank points will only affect the number of rank points you receive if you win, has no effect on MGP reward. So going up against higher tier opponents does not reward more MGP. There are tournaments. I already explained this. The rules are going to be changed. Tournaments consist of multiple matches against other players, with victories earning you tournament points. Players are allowed to play up to 30 matches per tournament. So all you have to do is go to the standing board, enter, and you're good to go. Boom, boom, boom. You just have to complete the first 2 Verminion challenges before participating in tournaments. Those are basically your tutorials. So do the tutorial and you can enter the tournaments. It also added some new mini games to the Gold Saucer. These are actually the 1.0 methods of gathering. Pretty funny that they're now mini games here. Because I don't know, it's just funny looking back. New rewards for MGP, the coral headpiece, the little the chicken headpiece, which looks like more like fruit because it's kind of got a weird color to it. There's some new shops that were added to the Gold Saucer. There's a minion trader now where you can go to buy minions for Gil or MGP. You have an aesthetics saleswoman who can sell hairstyles and whatnot, including the ones for the winners of the hairstyle competition and the afro. The MGP awarded for Jumbo Cactpots and Gates have been increased. Cool. More MGP. Can never complain. New Triple Triad cards have been added. New opponents have been added. They changed the way to get some of the old cards. And Tataru is no longer available as a Triple Triad opponent, which probably means you just have to get whatever cards you seek from her from these new Mythrite packs or from some other NPC or method in the process. They added the challenge log. They added Gold Saucer objectives to the challenge log, and I actually tallied these up ahead of time if I didn't mess it up, which I probably did. You can get 20,500 MGP a week from completing mini games, participating in gates, entering chocobo races, entering chocobo races, winning chocobo races, playing Triple Triad, winning Triple Triad, and playing Lords of Verminion. So 20,000 extra MGP per week on top of the buffs of the gates, on top of the fact you're actually doing content in the Gold Saucer to get these challenge logs done, on top of the new Lords of Verminion, which I'm sure people will be doing, and getting MGP from. And just with everything combined, it is now a lot more feasible to get rewards in the Gold Saucer. So if it was scaring you off before, highly recommend you get back in, try the Chocobo races, do even if you're going to do it with your friends. You know, if you want to do the races, if you want to do 30 Chocobo races with your free company for the weekly challenge log event, you can do that now. And people should be more motivated to do it because they're working towards whatever MGP goals they may have. They added sightseeing logs, new sightseeing logs in Heavensward. I'm assuming these are just as easy as the Heavensward ones were in the first place. Probably nothing special like the original ones. And by the way, when I say special with the original ones, I mean complete bullshit. But I did them anyway. So I guess I can't complain. These will probably be worth EXP like the other ones were. They doesn't say that explicitly here, but the old sightseeing logs for Heavensward were worth EXP. So I'm just imagining. New mounts can fly. The Aramon, Bomb Palanquin, ADS, Kieran, Magitek Armor, the Gilded Magitek Armor, the Drop Chocobo, the Ceremony Chocobo, and the Amber Drop Chocobo can all fly. And yes, the two-seater mounts do fly with two people. I don't know if both of the people need to have flying unlocked in order for it to work, though. That's the real question. It's now possible to ride mounts other than the personal chocobo while your companion is summoned. Is this one step closer to the technology for queuing up with our chocobo out? Are we almost there? I hope we're almost there. New hairstyles. We just mentioned these before with MGP. There's new emotes, so you can see there's new dances here. So enjoy those, because I know everyone's going to be doing the new dances. New change poses. Ethernet was added to Idleshire. They got rid of the Goodly Adventurer. His job, he was fired, just like in modern days when the technology is there, you fire the people when you don't need them anymore. This is what's wrong with our society nowadays. And players may now ride mounts in Idleshire. That's good. It makes sense, because Mordona technically was our 2.0 equivalent of Idleshire, and we were able to ride mounts through there. The difference being Idleshire is its own zone. Originally, it was not supposed to be, but they ended up doing that to relieve server stress, I believe, for the PlayStation 3 version of the game. So it makes sense that we can at least ride our mounts through Idleshire. Just can't fly with them in Idleshire. That would be kind of cool. Hey, class and job changes. So Paladin, what are the famed Paladin changes that they mentioned? Shield Swipe is now an ability that does not trigger global cooldown. I've heard Paladins asking for that. Recast time has been adjusted to 15 seconds, and the potency was reduced. Okay, so the main problem I remember Paladins talking about with Shield Swipe is that with Goring Blade and Royal Authority and Rage of Halone, that they couldn't keep all three of them up if they use Shield Swipe. Hell, even without using Shield Swipe, keeping all three of those debuffs up, or keeping Goring Blade and Rage of Halone and using Royal Authority, was damn near impossible without massive levels of skill speed. So Shield Swipe had no place, because if you did it, you were guaranteeing that one of your debuffs was going to fall off for a few extra seconds. So this makes it a bit more usable. I'm assuming this means it will be a net DPS increase for Paladins. Nothing major, but does give it some more usefulness. On top of that, lowered the cost of TP for Goring Blade and Shield Bash. So nice small little buffs. I know it's not really the buffs people wanted, like with Clemency and the Oath switching and whatnot, but they've commented on that recently, saying that they'd rather design content where tank DPS isn't stressed as much, and that you can actually make use of the Paladin's high defensive capabilities a bit more. So, curious to see how they do that. That'll probably be something we see more in 3.2. Maybe even the hard mode exploratory missions. Paladin will be really good for certain bosses. Hopefully. I am hoping Paladin comes a bit more into its prime. Rogue and Ninja, TP costs on Mutilate Shadowfang were reduced by 10 each. No complaints. That's enough to get me to my next Invigorate a lot more comfortably. And I'm sure that in A4 Savage, A3 Savage, I'm going to feel the difference a lot more. Archer and Bard. I like this. Heavy shot. The timing at which straight shot's icon flashes while under the effect of straighter shot has been adjusted. For those who don't play Bard, basically when you use heavy shot, by the time you get a straighter shot proc, it's too late to use it. Like it'll clip your GCD to wait on the proc. So what you usually do is you heavy shot. If you get a proc, you heavy shot again, or you use another ability. You just don't try to use the straighter shot right away. With this, you should be able to use your straighter shot procs as soon as it pops up on your screen as the next GCD. So really good. I'm hoping, I don't know if Machinist needs that fix as well. I don't know because I don't play it. But if they do, hopefully it is something that they get at some point when they're under cost barrel. Straight shot also had its TP cost reduced by 10, so Bard's a little bit less TP stress for you. Nice. And I guess that makes sense because straighter shot basically was you having to use extra TP, as far as I understood, in order to make use of the proc. So now that it's a bit more accessible, it's probably good that they reduced the TP cost. And Royal Road effect is no longer lost in leaving an area, which is nice because whenever I queue into a dungeon and I have an AoE balance saved up, it's just gone. The balance stays, but the Royal Road is gone, so that's nice. The Mudra changes, they are trying to make them smoother depending on your connection speed and latencies. For people with extreme cases, it's still not going to help that much. But I'll do a comparison video on that sometime next week after the patch goes live. Also, you can't spear a Mudra cast anymore. You used to be able to use the spear, the Astro card, on a ninja and reduce the recast time for it, and it would fall to 0.4 seconds. You can't do that anymore. It can't go below 0.5. They also made it, I don't know, they made it so the Bard and Machinist limit break in PvP has its cast time reduced. Nice. Good, because it's a pretty narrow thing, so I guess that makes sense. Visual effect displayed when affected by dark side can be disabled now. They changed the algorithms for the limit break gauge filling. If you go into solo in the duty finder, it doesn't fill, it fills at a static rate now, regardless of your party composition. And Dungeons and Trials requiring a full party to register via the duty finder. The limit break gauge will fill more slowly if the parties are job stacking with 3 or more members on the same roll. With 3 or more, oh yeah, so that, and by the way, when they say roll, they don't mean job. It's literally if you have 3 bards, or if you have 3 healers, or 3 tanks, or 3 melee DPS, and it's requiring a full party to register. Requiring. That does not mean if it happens to be full party, this happens. It's still, you'll still be all right. Just if you're job stacking when you're going in with 8 and it's required, then it'll be reduced. They changed some of the text on the limit break button. They made some adjustments to AoE indicators, so that way it's a bit more clear when you're inside and outside of the AoE. And new dungeons have been added. The first hard mode dungeon, St. Mochian's Arboretum, average item level 170 to enter. Overgrown Ambition, which is from the Techi Treasure Hunter and Dravanian Hinterlands. Pharaoh Sirius Hard Mode, which is same average item level. They dropped the same gear. We don't know what item level it is yet, but most people are guessing between I-180 and I-190. I'm guessing I-185, just to be clear for my guess. Remember, beat original Pharaoh Sirius. Have cleared the original Pharaoh Sirius. Most important thing for this quest. We also have the Knights of the Round Extreme, Thordon's Reign, in other words. Average item level of 190. Now, they keep saying that we still don't have the item level for this, but they keep saying that if you're looking to tackle A3 and A4 Savage and you're still looking for more upgrades, that this seems to be a good place to start. So I'm assuming these weapons are going to be I-205. I think they're going to be I-205 weapons. I don't know. It makes the most sense to me. It's got to be better than ESO weapons, but it's likely going to be worse than A4 Savage weapons. So that's just what I'm expecting. It's not supposed to be a very DPS check heavy fight, more of a mechanical check. It's a 10-phase encounter. We have confirmed this with Yoshi P in several interviews. So looking forward to that. We'll be streaming that on Tuesday. Really looking forward to it. They added Bismarck and Ravana Extreme to the Duty Finder, finally. Bismarck having an average item level of 165 or above, I think is pretty funny. He's beatable with far, far less, but it is the Duty Finder. So I feel like that's a nice minimum item level for the Duty Finder in itself. Ravana being 175 or above seems a bit overkill, but that should help guarantee success at that item level. The Echo will now take effect. Oh, you also get Echo in Ravana Hard, Bismarck Hard, Ravana Extreme, and Bismarck Extreme. Same algorithms that they used before. For the old hard modes and for the old extremes, where it's 10% for the hard modes, each wipe after 3 minutes, up to a maximum of 50, and 5% up to a maximum of 25 for the extremes. Sorry, I just had to clean my glasses. Items that drop directly from boss enemies will now drop from treasure boxes in the following duties. Oh, so I guess that means we can roll on the feathers and whatnot for these? Okay. I guess that means even things like the diamond tier from Shiva or any of the housing items. I'm assuming that's what it means. Okay. whatever. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. Alliance Raid Dungeon Void Ark. This is the new 24-man raid. Average item level of 175 to enter for 24 players to rule the skies. Yep, this is the Sky Pirate quest line. You just need to do the to rule the skies quest first. It's 1 tank, 2 healers, 5 DPS for each party. And you can, so here's the thing, you can receive 1 reward item per week from completing duties in the Void Ark. In the event you are awarded an item from the loot list, you relinquish your right to vie for all remaining items, regardless of whether you selected need or greed. If the time expires and a reward item is automatically obtainable, this will count towards the weekly limit. So you can win 1 drop from the Void Ark per week. This is standard. If you did World of Darkness, you know how this works. I know that people are probably wondering, what about the Gob Coats and Gob Twines? Well, that's what the completion reward is for. Players can also earn a separate reward once per week. This reward can be exchanged with Bertana in Idleshire for items used to exchange equipment purchased with Allegan Tomestones of Esoterics. So, what that is basically saying is you can buy Gob Twines, Gob Coats. Now, we won't get the Gob Dips right away. Yoshi P confirmed that in an interview with Famitsu. Thank you, Slicer, by the way, for that translation. And this is basically just, you get ancient coins when you beat the bosses once per week, and you can go trade those in for upgrade items. Think of them almost like the books from Alexander Savage. Basically the same thing in the Void Ark, except that you just get 4 coins, I guess, per run. I don't know what the exact ones, if we're going to have coats and twines right away, if we're going to have just coats right away, but we'll see. The following items will now appear in treasure chests in an alliance when undertaking. Well, they appear, but what's is the drop rate still shit as ever? Wait a minute. Oh, okay. It's saying, okay, so you get 3 Wind-Up Onionites and 3 Puff of Darknesses from the Circus Tower, World of Darkness. It's not 1 per 24 people, it's 1 per 8 people. Okay, that makes sense. Following items will now appear in the treasure chest that appears after defeating the Cloud of Darkness, Encrypted Tonestones, Carbon Copes, and Carbon Twines. They're trying to get more, I guess that's going to get more people in there, maybe, for people who are gearing up level 50s. I don't think it will. The weekly restriction for Alexander Gordius, that's Alexander Normal, by the way, has been removed. That does, this, so you can roll on as many items as you want in Alexander Normal now, with no weekly limitation. That means people are going to roll on everything and not give a shit what everybody else wants.